Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great. And in today's video, we are going to discuss October 2022, paper 1. The first question over here is saying to you that Anastasia collects information to investigate this statement. Older teachers pay more for their cars than younger teachers. Tick the two items that are most relevant to her investigation. You're going to find over here that she is investigating whether older or younger pay more. So we need the teacher's age, the age of the teacher, and we need the price that the teacher pays for their cars. Question 2. Oliver throws a ball at a basketball hoop 20 times. He scores a basket 7 times. He misses the basket 13 times. Use this information to estimate the probability of Oliver scoring. So scoring is 7 out of how many? Out of 20 times. So it is 7 out of 20. You want to write this as a fraction, accepted. You want to write it as a decimal, so which is going to be exactly 0.35, or do you want to write it as a percentage, which is 35%? The three of them are accepted. When Eva works for H hours, she earns 25 H dollars. Work out how much she earns when she works 10 hours. So 25 multiplied by 10, which is going to give you $250. Yusuf has a 2-liter bottle of water. He pours the water into 50 milliliter glasses. Work out how many glasses Yusuf could completely fill. So 2-liter bottles, and here 50 milliliter glasses. So I need 2,000 because 2 liter, each liter is 1,000 milliliters. So 2,000 milliliters. But I'm going to divide them by 50 milliliters, because which is the size of one glass. So it's going to give you exactly, bye to the zeros, 200 divided by 5 is going to give you exactly 40 cups. Here are the costs of buying theater tickets from a booking agency: adult ticket, child ticket, and their prices. Hassam buys 2 adult tickets, so it's $65 multiplied by 2. Plus, they told you 2 child tickets, so it is $45 multiplied also by 2, which is going to give you exactly 2 multiplied by 65 is going to give you $130, plus 45 times 2 is going to give you $90, which is going to add up to $220 in total. So they're telling you that the booking agency charges an extra 5%, of the total cost as a booking fee. Work out how much Hassam pays altogether. So 5 extra percent. So that's going to give you 5% of 220. You're going to find it that 10%, you can do it in one of the two ways. You can find it that 10%, which is 22. So 5% is the half of 22, which is $11. Or you can say, I'm going to multiply 5 by 220. 5 multiplied by 120. 220 is going to give you 1,100. Then you divide it by 100. It gives you also the 11. So you can say 5 times 220 divided by 100 gives you 11. You can find the 10% of 220, and then you get the half of it for the 5%, also 11. But this is not the total. The total is $220 plus the 5%, which is going to give you exactly $231. You must convert this first into a mixed number, so it's going to be 4 times 6 plus 1, 25. The denominator doesn't change. Divided by 3 times 1 plus 2 gives you 5 over 3. The denominator also doesn't change. Keep, change, flip. Keep the first one, multiply 3 over 5. Dividing this by 5 gives you 1. Dividing this by 5 gives you 5. Then you start multiplying, it gives you exactly 15 over 4. But they want it as a mixed number in the simplest form. So the denominator doesn't change. How many 4s are in 15? You're going to find that there are 3 4s and the remainder 3. They wanted the surface area, which means that the area of each face added up, all of them added up. This is 3 by 3 is 9 centimeters squared, and the other one is the same. It is the opposite face. And you got this one over here, it is 5 by, it is the same as this one. If you close the cuboid, this is going to be exactly the same as this. If you close the cuboid, so it is 5 by 3, which is 15 centimeters squared, and this one is also 15, this one is also 15, this one is also 15. So adding all of them up is going to give you exactly 78. 15 plus 15 plus 15 plus 15 is 60. 60 and 18 is 78 centimeters squared. Plot the point 0, -3 on the grid. 0, -3 is going to be here. Label it C. Done. ABCD is a rectangle, so A, B, C. Where is D going to be? So they're requesting for you the coordinates of D. CB and AD must be parallel. So I need to see what happened exactly from B until it moved to C. So I went down 1, 2, 3 steps down, 1 right. So 3 steps down from A, 1 right is going to be here. This is D, which is 6, -1. 6, -1. Complete the multiplication grid. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 9 is 36. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 9 is 63. You must change them into the same unit, so let's make them all into meters. This is ready for me, ready. This one multiplied by 1,000. You should remember that kilo means multiplied by 1,000. So it is going to give you exactly 130 meters. And the last one, 127 meters. Ordering them from smallest to largest, you're going to find that the smallest of them all is 30 meters. Then you've got what is after it is 127 meters, but write the original, please. So it is 0.127 kilometers. Then after it, you've got the 130 meters, which is 0.13 kilometers. And then the last and the greatest one is 200 meters. Babies born at a hospital are described as having low or medium or high mass at birth. The table shows some information about 200 babies, so we know that all of them are 200. You need to fill in the missing values in the table. I know that this is 106, which is the total of 46 and something, right? So 46 plus what is 106? You're going to find that it is exactly 60. 46 and 60 is 106. 18 and 22 is what? You're going to find that it is 40, exactly. Then I need to find here the missing total. There is a missing total over here. 40 plus 106 is going to give you 146, but I have something else that is missing that if added to 146 will give me 200. You're going to find that it is 54. 22, so then here I got 54, but I have here also a missing total. 90 plus what is going to give you 200, so you're going to find that this is 110. 22 plus 60 is 82, plus what gives you 110? So 110 minus 82 is going to give you exactly 28. All right, so let's continue. 18 or actually 28 plus what gives you 54? You can think about it this way, or 18 plus 46 plus what gives you 90. Both are accepted. So here I'm going to do 28 plus what gives me 54. You're going to find that it is 26. 26 plus 28 gives you 54. And if you add these three numbers up, they will give you also 90. You want to try it? 10 and 40 is 50, and 20 is going to give you 70. 70, I got 6, and 6 is 12, and 8 is 20. With the 70 gives you the 90. I'm adding it mentally. You can add them up on top of each other. It's totally up to you. One of the male babies is chosen at random. Find the probability he has a medium mass. So they said male babies. So the male babies, all of them are 90. So it is over 90. But the saying medium mass, the probability of medium mass, the medium mass is only 46 out of 90. The simplest form of this divided by 2 gives you 23, divided by 2 gives you 45. Samira owns a bookshop. She makes money from the cafe in the shop as well as from selling books. The bar chart shows Samira's profits between 2019 and 2021. So here you go. They told you that the cafe is the light gray, while the dark gray is the books. So this is the cafe. Here is the books, benefits from books. Samira says, my total profits have increased between 2019 and 2021. Yes, actually, if you notice that from 2019 to 2021, the total profit has increased. This is true. She had $160 only, but this one over here is actually $180. So yes, the total profits increased. Write down one other comment to describe how her profits have changed between 2019 and 2021. You're going to find that the book's profit has decreased while the cafe's profit has increased. So look at that, the cafe's profit, and it became all of that. So the cafe's profit, you can write this, the cafe's profit has increased while the book's profit has decreased. Draw a ring around the fraction that is the largest. You need to make them all out of 30. So multiplying this up and down by 3 gives you 21 over 30. This is 19 over 30 as it is. Multiplying up and down by 2 gives you 22 over 30. Multiplying up and down by 10 gives you 20 over 30. So the largest of them all is 11 over 15. Find the highest common factor of 39 and 52. You need to do the prime factorization of 39 and 52. So the factor 3 over here, you're going to find that it is 3 and 13. Both of them are prime. While this, you're going to find that it is 26 multiplied by 2, and the 26 is 2 times 13. List them right next to each other as a product of prime numbers. You're going to find that this is 3 times 13. This is 2 times 2 times 13. To find the greatest common factor or the highest common factor, you need to find the common and you take them only once. So the 3, do you have there another 3? No, I don't. While the 13, do you have there another 13? Yes, we do. So by, write them only once. If you had, I'm saying if, you had another factor that is common, so you would have also canceled them. Let's imagine, and right now I'm only imagining, I'm going to erase it. If I said to you here, I had times 3 as well. So we would have said by, and I would have written it only once as a product over here using the multiplication. So that would have been 39. But this is not the case. I'm just explaining it to you in case you found another 3 or another number that is common. You write it down as well only once, but with multiplication. Expand the brackets. I'm going to multiply the 4x here by 7x and multiply the 4x here by negative 3. So it is going to become 28x squared. Then 4x multiplied by negative 3 is going to become negative 12x. That's it. Multiply the 4x by 7x, multiply the 4x by negative 3. So it is 28x squared minus 12x. Work this out. So to work this out, you're going to need to do what? I need to take 4.2 as a factor first. All right. So you can do over here 4.2. I'm going to take it as a factor. And I'm going to multiply by 3.6 plus 6.4. So 4.2, I took it as a factor outside the brackets. What is going to be left from here? Bye-bye to this and this. 3.6 plus 6.4. So it is 4.2 multiplied by 3.6 plus 6.4 is going to give you 10 exactly, which is 42. That's it. 3 multiplied by 1,000 is going to give you just a 3,000. while this is 3 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2. Divided by 10 to the power of negative 2 is the same as multiplying it by 10 to the power of 2, which is going to give you 300. This is 3 divided by 10 to the power of 2, which is 3 divided by 100, gives you 0.03. And this one is the same as 3 divided by 10 to the power of 3, which is 0.003. Here is a sequence. Find the nth term for this sequence. You're going to find that we added over here a 4, then we added another 4, add another 4, and this is the last 4 that we added. So it is linear, a linear sequence. Once you find out that it is linear sequence, you're adding a 4 every time, so it is 4n. Then term 0. What is term 0? Minus 4 gives you here positive 3. So it's 4n plus 3. Because the 0 term, which is the term that would have been there before the first term, is 3. So it is 4n plus 3. Draw a ring around the number that is nearest in value to the square root of 74. We know that 74, square root of 74, is between square root of 64 and the square root of 81, which is 8 and 9. All right, you're going to find that it is almost halfway. It is not too close to 6.4. Mister, it is between 8 and 9. This could be correct. This could be correct. But which one are you going to draw a ring around it? Because they said the nearest in value. So is this square root of 74 too close to square root of 64 to the extent that you say it's almost 8.1? No, mister. It's not that close. So it is almost halfway between 8 and 9. It is almost halfway between the root of 64 and the root of 81. So it is 8.6. Not this one. A box of grapes costs $1.60. Work out the cost of 30 boxes of grapes. So it's just 1.60 multiplied by 30. Ignore the decimal points. So I'm going to just put the 2 zeros over here, and I will also ignore the zeros. So it is just a 16 times 3, which is going to give you exactly 48. So 48. Okay, but I have over here, Mr. 2 decimal places. So it is 48.00. Okay. If you wanted to do it from the very beginning as if it's 1.6 multiplied by 30, that would have made it only 1 decimal place, but I counted the zeros in the very beginning. So that would have given you, here you got 0 and then 48. So 1 decimal place is 48.0, which is the same as well. Writing it without the decimal point or the zeros is going to be correct as well. Here, as if you're saying 7 plus something over the minus 4 gives you, what is this number? It is 8. Okay, so as if you're saying to me 7 plus, because in multiplication we add the powers, 7 plus y minus, because it's division, so minus 4 should give me 8. We add the powers in multiplication, we must minus them in division. So let's collect the like terms. So it is y, positive 7 minus 4 is positive 3 equals 8. So y equals, send the 3 over there, negative 3, y equals 5. So this is 5. What is y? I just chose any variable for the missing number. You could have named it x also. You could have named it y. You could have named it t. You could have just thought about it mentally. What is the number that I add the 7 and the 4, the 7 to, and then I minus a 4 to give me an 8. You're going to find that it is also a 5. I always love to do it in an organized way using equations. The next question over here says to you, Lily is trying to find out if boys or girls scored generally, focus on this, generally higher marks in a test. So generally means that you can use the mean, you can use the median. Because the mode is not generally, the mode is about the most repeated. And the range is not about generally, the range is about variety or consistency, as we agreed before. But generally, that means that you're going to compare the mean and the median. She decides to find the mode, the mean, and the range for each group. Here are the results of her calculations. And she found the mode, the mean, the range between the scores of boys and the scores of girls. Put a tick next to the group with the generally higher marks. Generally, they are just stressing a little bit more on the word generally over here. So I'm going to look at the mean as we agreed. I'm not going to look at the mode. I'm not going to look at the range because the mode is all about the most repeated scores and the range is about the variety or the consistency, while the mean is general comparison. So here, next to the group with the generally higher marks, so the higher marks, you're going to find that they are the girls. Explain your answer because the girls have a higher mean. Draw a ring around the incorrect statement. You're going to find that this one over here, the x is still positive as this x as well. While you're going to find over here that the y is also the same as this one, which is also positive. And the m is negative over here, such as the other m. So actually, all of them are equal. This did not change a thing. Moving on to the next one over here, you're going to find that the x changed. And actually, the x did not change. It is x positive and the x is positive. While the a is the one that changed. A here is positive and a here is negative. They are not equal. And the negative b and b, they are also not the same. So this is that statement that is incorrect. All right, if you check the rest, t multiplied by m multiplied by c is the same as c multiplied by t multiplied by m. Order of in multiplication does not actually change anything. So they are the same. They are correct. And even the last one over here, you're dividing by x, you're dividing by x. And the only change that happened is the order between the v and the w and the v, w and the v over here, this doesn't change anything. So the only choice that is incorrect is this one. Question 24. Cylinder A has a height of 10 centimeters. It is being filled with water. The graph shows how the height in centimeters of water in the cylinder changes with the time in seconds as cylinder A is filled. And they gave you this graph. Look at the first 2 seconds over here. It was being filled slowly. Look at that. While all of a sudden, the tap was turned up and it moved very quickly. The water started to, or the cylinder started to be filled faster. So they are asking you over here in the first question, question A, to describe what the graph shows about the change in height of water after 2 seconds compared with before 2 seconds. So you can just say what I've just explained to you right now, but you can say it in your own words. So you can say that the tap was turned up after 2 seconds. This is correct. Or you can say it in other words, saying that the cylinder started to be filled faster after 2 seconds. Also correct. Cylinder B is identical to cylinder A with the same height, which is 10 centimeters. But saying it, you hear that cylinder B is filled with water so that the height of water increases at a constant rate. So constant rate here tells me that it is a straight line of 1.25 centimeters per second. 1.25 centimeters per second, and here I have 10 centimeters. Then what does this mean? What does this tell you? This tells you actually here about how many seconds you can just use this to find how many seconds were taken to fill the 10 centimeters completely. How can I know that? You need to do 10 centimeters divided by 1.25 centimeters. Oh my God, how can I do that? This is very complicated. It is paper one, and I'm not allowed to use the calculator. Yes, you are right that you're not allowed to use the calculator, but you learned this in Unit 3 that you need to multiply this by 100 to make it a whole number, you cannot divide unless the denominator is a whole number. Then you multiply up also by 100, which gives you 1,000 over 125. 1,000 over 125, you're going to find that it takes exactly 8 whole seconds. So filling the 10 centimeters, that they wanted to show this on the same grid, filling the 10 centimeters in 8 seconds. So it starts from 0, it is empty, and going to the 10 seconds in 8 seconds. To the 10 centimeters, I mean, in 8 seconds. Well, I'm going to need here a straight line. Let me use here a straight line, not to mess up with the graph. Going up here, this is the 8 seconds. So I'm going to need to move from 0 until 10 over here, this way. So now I filled the 10 centimeters cylinder in 8 seconds. Erase this. And that's it, to leave it this way. So your line must be connected from 0, 0 until 8 seconds 10. Until 8, 10. You guys get it? I found that it takes 8 seconds to fill the 10 centimeters. So filling from 0 until 10 in 8 seconds, draw your line. All right, let's continue. No. A cyclist leaves home at 8:35. He travels 49 kilometers at an average speed of 14 kilometers per hour. So 14 kilometers per hour, I have the speed. And I have over here the distance. And I have the start time, but I don't have the duration. Work out the time that he finishes. So I need first to find the time which is equal to distance over speed. So time equals distance, which is 49 kilometers, over speed, which is 14. So you need to do over here 49 divided by 14 is going to give you the duration. So 49 divided by 14, you're going to find that here it goes exactly 3 times, and it cannot go more than 3 times. 4 is going to be too much. So 3 times 14 is going to give you exactly 42. Subtract gives you 7.0. Put the point up, bring the 0 down. You're going to find that 14 goes into 75 times exactly. So 5 times 14 is going to give you exactly the 70. So it is 3.5. 3.5 what? Hours. So he completed the 49 kilometers at an average speed of 13 kilometers per hour. So he took exactly 3.5 hours. The question is not about what time or how long does his journey takes. No, the question is about what time he finishes his journey. So you need to add 3.5 hours to the 8:35. So 8:35, adding to it the 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. You're going to find that it is 11:35 after 3 hours. This is only after 3 hours, 11:35. Adding half an hour more, so it is going to give you exactly 12:35. But let's wait here a second. 12:05, we said. This is now, I added what? I added 3 hours and a half. 12:05. But there is here something that you need to make sure that you're doing it right. Is it 12:05 or 00:05? Knowing that it is this way, this means AM, right? So AM, if you continue until afternoon, it remains 12:05. You haven't reached midnight. This is in the afternoon. So it is 12:05 correct. If it was going to become AM, which is after midnight, if this was after midnight, we would have chosen 00:05. But this is not actually the case over here. So let me erase this. Doesn't want to erase. Just a second. Let's continue. You need to work out over here this all squared. So 23 minus 9. I need to start with the multiplication all squared. So it's going to give you exactly 14 squared. So 14 multiplied by 14. This paper is full of calculations and testing your calculation skills, multiplying, adding, subtracting, dividing using long division. So you're going to need to do over here 14 squared because 23 minus 9 is 14. So multiplying 4 by 4 is 16, carry up the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 is going to give you 5. Put a 0, then 14. Then you add them up, gives you here 691. So 196. But actually, yes, we have no decimal point, so it's just 196. Draw a ring around the two calculations that have an answer smaller than 73. So smaller than 73, it means what are we doing to the 73? The 73 either gets multiplied by smaller than 1 whole, or actually the 73 gets divided by bigger than 1 whole. This will give you an answer that is less than 73. So let's check which of these do we have in our options. Multiplying by smaller than 1 definitely would become smaller than 73, smaller than 1. Dividing by smaller than 1, it is a proper fraction, right? So it is dividing by smaller than 1. It is not possible. It's actually going to give you an answer that is greater than 73. I'm not going to choose it. I need division by bigger than 1 whole. This is also dividing it by smaller than 1 whole. I'm not going to take it. Multiplying by a proper fraction, which is smaller than 1 whole. So yes, I can take it. So these two only. I'm going to take this question, but let's read it first, and then I take it to the application Clever Math to be able to answer it together. The diagram shows a scale drawing of a garden. Here is the garden. And they told you that 1 centimeter represents 5 meters. So 1 centimeter is actually 5 meters. A shed is going to be put in the garden, but they're telling you that the shed must be at least 15 meters away from side A. Let me zoom out, take the whole question to Clever Math. So at least 15 meters away from side A. Let's get it here. Here we go. 15 meters away from side AB. So it means here is side AB. 15 meters away. So each centimeter is 5 meters. So that means 3 centimeters away. So 15 meters away simply means what? 3 centimeters away from A, B. Okay, so 3 centimeters away from A, B. All right, so we need to go up 3 centimeters. Let's measure it with a ruler. And I'm going to get it over here. Here you go. 3 centimeters is actually over here. Here it is, the 3 centimeters. And from the other side as well, here is the 3 centimeters. You just need to connect them with your ruler this way. Connect. So now I'm away from AB 3 centimeters. This is 3 centimeters, which is actually 15 meters away. This is 3 centimeters, which is 15 meters away from AB. All right, but this is not everything. So we know that it's going to be on top or above this line. Yes, but they said it is also at least 20 meters away. So 4 centimeters. 20 meters. Each centimeter is 5 meters. So it is 20 meters away, which means 4 centimeters away from the tree marked T. The tree that is marked T. they are 20 meters, which is 4 centimeters away from it. Mister, it could be 4 centimeters away from here. It could be also 4 centimeters away from here. Could be 4 centimeters away from here, or here, or here, or here. All of this could be like 4 centimeters away. Yes, exactly. That's why we need to use the compasses. So I'm going to get my compasses and I'm going to open it on exactly 4 centimeters. Here you go. This is 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters. Definitely you're going to need to use that ruler for that. Let me get it over here. Put this on the tree, the point T, and then you start drawing your arc. Now, this is 4 centimeters away from it. By the way, the dimensions might be a little bit different, or it might look smaller or bigger than the one that you have on paper. Why? Because the one that you have on paper, I did not change the dimensions. Here, I zoomed in and I zoomed out, and the measurements are not actual one, but the method is the same exactly. So your arc might cover something that, or a smaller distance than this, or might cover a little bit more. I'm not actually sure of it on paper how it looks exactly. I'm not really sure, but it must be, you must open your compasses on 4 centimeters and you start drawing the arc this way from point to T after making sure that it is open on exactly 4 centimeters. Now we made sure that the shed is going to be away from this part and away from this part. They wanted to shade the region where the shed can be built. Can be built. It can be built any place over here. Look at that. This is where you can build the shed. They requested from you to shade it. Don't touch this part. Don't touch this part. All right, the next question. The diagram shows a shape made from 5 identical cubes. On the grid, draw the elevation in the direction of the arrow. So just imagine yourself as a tiny creature who is standing over here looking at this giant building or giant design from this direction. What are you going to see? You're not going to see this. You're not going to see this. You're going to see this square. And you're not going to see this. You're not going to see that. You're going to see this also. So you're going to see them as if you're going to see it as if it's a 2D shape. If you're so far away from this gigantic, massive design, you're going to feel that it is what? A 2D shape from very far away. From very far away. You're going to feel that it is a 2D shape, seeing only this square in front of you and the one on top of it. And you're going to see also another square next to it. You will be able to see this one from this direction. So this is the elevation that you're going to see from this position. Question 30. Here is a rectangle on a coordinate grid. And the saying to the rectangle is rotated 90 degrees clockwise about vertex A. You're going to need a tracing paper. Get a tracing paper, put it must be a rectangular tracing paper, not the same rectangle over here, but I need a complete one, even if it's a complete A4 tracing paper. Trace this shape over the tracing paper. Trace it with your pencil. After you trace it on the tracing paper, you're going to put your pencil over here. Okay? Put the pencil and fix it over here. Because they said to you it is rotated about vertex A. So you must put the pencil on point A to fix the paper and not to let it move from this point. Then they said to you it is round, it's rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Clockwise, it means you're going to take your paper, your tracing paper, this direction. Okay. If it was landscape, you need to rotate it until it is portrait. So only one rotation of from landscape to portrait or from portrait to landscape, 90 degrees. Okay, done. This is the 90 degrees and this is the clockwise. And putting my pencil over here, not moving my pencil, you're gonna find that your new shape is going to be here. Here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Stops over here. Look at that. It's going to be like this. And point B actually is going to be here. This is going to be point B. You could have also labeled the point B before rotating the shape on your tracing paper. So when you rotate it, you're going to find that point B is over here, which has coordinates of 4, -2. The last question that we have over here, they're saying to you that A is smaller than 1, it's between 0 and 1, and B is greater than 1. Let's imagine, I'm going to imagine that A is 0.5. So we're assuming right now that A is 0.5, while B is, let's assume that it is equal to 2. So A minus B, 0.5 minus 2, well, is smaller than 0? Definitely. It's going to give me a negative number, a negative answer, actually. While A squared, which is 0.5 squared, is going to be greater than A, never, because actually it's going to give you exactly over here 0.25. Multiplying it by a decimal makes the answer smaller. So 0.5 times 0.5 is going to lead you to an answer that is smaller than 0.5, not greater. So it is false. Multiplying A by B, so the 2, which is B, multiplying it by half is going to make it greater than 2? No, multiplying it by a decimal that is smaller than 1 is going to make it smaller than 2, not greater than 2, so it is false. B over A, knowing that 2 is divided by a decimal that is smaller than 1. I know, mister, that division always makes the answer smaller. Yes, unless you're dividing by smaller than 1, the answer becomes bigger. So yes, 2 divided by half, as if you're saying 2 divided by half, it is going to get bigger because keep change flip, it's going to become 4. Dividing by smaller than 1 gives you a bigger answer. So it is yes, going to be correct. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you in another video.